Well, I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa. Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected, because when you push power, power pushes back. Representation matters. Continuing to expand our ideas of who is American and who can partake in the American experiment is a good thing. I am an American. An American.
Senator John Kennedy confronts the truth no one in Washington wants to face: elite universities openly allowing anti-Semitism under the banner of diversity and inclusion. In this fiery Senate hearing, Kennedy exposes hypocrisy, moral weakness, and the Biden administration's refusal to act. Watch as I break down the explosive exchange and explain why this moment matters for the future of American education and decency.
Member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question, because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very effective way.
Let's start first with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question—
Time has expired.
Deeply wrong, sir.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rabbi, do you believe there are a substantial number of people at Harvard University who believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews?
I do.
That's a yes?
Yes.
And do you believe those people have acted on their self-anointed right to harass Jews?
Yes.
And has the administration at Harvard University allowed that to happen?
Yes.
Is that true at University of California at Berkeley?
Yes.
How about UCLA?
Yes.
How about NYU?
Yes.
A lot of other universities too. Isn't that the case?
That is correct.
Now, Title VI says that if you receive federal money, you can't harass Jews. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
Has the Biden-Harris administration taken away the money of Harvard?
No.
How about Berkeley?
Nope.
How about UCLA?
No, sir.
How about NYU?
No.
They've just talked, haven't they?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you think this condoned behavior at these universities, this condoned belief at these universities, and let me state it again, they believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews? It's what they believe. What you do is what you believe. Everything else is just cottage cheese. Do you think that is consistent with their mission as universities?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So above and beyond the question of money, it is the morality, the purpose of higher education in America, is it not?
That is correct.
Ms. Berry, you are the executive director of the Arab American Institute. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very effective way.
Let's start first with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer, and I appreciate it. What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing,
Is that a
Senator.
no?
That
Or
you
a
have
yes?
you have Arab American constituents that you represent
is
in
that
your great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited, and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
Yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes it.
You can't
So
bring
no,
yourself to say no, can you?
No, I can say no. I can say yes.
But
What
you
I can
haven't.
say is
You just
your
can't
line
make
of
yourself
questioning.
do it. Do you
Senator.
support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again, I'm going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to, this
you
discussion.
can't bring yourself to say no, can
Sir,
you?
I don't support.
It's real simple.
Excuse me. I'm going to,
Ian,
if I may, as a Muslim
no.
woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
That is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms
Let
of...
me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You
Sir.
support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do
to
not
say
support Hamas
you don't
or
support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't
I
support Iran.
oppose-
You should hide your head in a bag.
Your time has expired. Please, Ms. Berry, I'm going to allow you to respond to any one or all of those questions at this point.
Senator Durbin, thank you very much for holding this hearing and for elevating the issue of hate crime. It's regrettable that as I sit here, have experienced the very issue that we're attempting to deal with today. The introduction of foreign policy is not how we keep Arab Americans or Jewish Americans or Muslim Americans or Black people or Asian Americans, anybody safe. This has been regrettably a real disappointment, but very much an indication of the danger to our democratic institutions that we're in now. And I deeply regret that, and I do hope that my testimony today has been helpful to understanding the need to respond to hate.
Over the weekend, I went to a synagogue in my hometown of Springfield. There was a bar mitzvah for a dear friend of mine.
Where we dig into the stories the mainstream media won't touch, and we speak truth without fear. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we expose what's really happening in America today. Now, let's talk about what just went down in the Senate, because this hearing was nothing short of explosive. Senator John Kennedy did what so few politicians have the courage to do anymore. He told the truth, directly and unapologetically. He confronted the ugly reality of what's going on in America's elite universities. Kennedy asked the hard questions about Harvard, UC Berkeley, UCLA, and NYU, universities that preach diversity, equity, and inclusion, yet allow Jewish students to be harassed and threatened simply for being who they are. And when Kennedy pressed the witness, the answers were chilling. Yes, the man said, people at Harvard believe in DEI and the right to harass Jews. Yes, he said, administrators have allowed it. Let that sink in. The very institutions that claim to fight hate have become breeding grounds for it. And what has the Biden administration done? Nothing. Not a single university has lost its federal funding despite clear violations of Title VI, which bans discrimination against Jews. The administration talks about unity, tolerance, and compassion, but when hate is directed at Jewish students, they stay silent. Senator Kennedy called it out for what it is: hypocrisy. These universities claim to promote inclusion, but what they really promote is selective tolerance. You're allowed to express yourself freely, as long as your opinions fit their narrative. And when it comes to Jews or conservatives, suddenly diversity doesn't apply. Then came the moment everyone's talking about. Kennedy questioned James Zogby, the head of the Arab American Institute, a longtime Democratic activist, and asked him point-blank, "Do you support Hamas? Do you support Hezbollah?" And instead of a simple no, Zogby danced around the question. He refused to give straight answers. Kennedy pressed him, and still, he wouldn't say it outright. That's when Kennedy hit back and said, "You should hide your head in a bag."
And you know what? He was right to say it.
Because if you can't condemn terrorist organizations that slaughter innocent people, then what does that say about you? This is what's wrong with our political climate. People will twist themselves in knots to avoid offending anyone, even when it means refusing to stand against evil. Kennedy wasn't being mean. He was demanding moral clarity, something we've lost in this country. And what happened next shows just how far we've fallen. Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat, tried to play peacemaker, talking about empathy and understanding, as if the problem here is that Kennedy was too tough. Durbin brought up his Jewish friends, their fear, and a Palestinian boy who was tragically murdered, and while those stories are heartbreaking, he missed the point entirely. The issue isn't that Kennedy was harsh. The issue is that Americans have become afraid to say the truth, afraid to call out hate where it exists, especially when it's politically inconvenient. Our universities have become indoctrination factories. They preach about fighting oppression while turning a blind eye to anti-Semitism and silencing anyone who doesn't bow to their ideology. The same people who talk about justice are defending terrorists, and our government rewards them with taxpayer money. This hearing should have been a wake-up call for America. But will the Biden administration act? Of course not. Because this is what happens when politics matters more than principle. Senator Kennedy did what every American leader should be doing, demanding accountability. He stood up for moral truth, for Jewish students, and for every person who's tired of seeing this double standard play out in our schools and government. If you're as fed up as I am with this nonsense, with the cowardice, the hypocrisy, and the moral confusion, then don't stay silent. Share this video, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. And if you believe in truth, in courage, and in standing up for what's right, then hit that subscribe button right now. Because here on Illuminate, we don't just talk, we expose. America deserves better than this. And as long as we're here, we're going to make sure the light keeps shining on the truth.